Hello everyone, my name is Marco and I'm currently taking Network and Informatics Systems Engineer at Universidade of Porto, and today I will talk about a paper that describes how can a social network structure be related with esports, highlighting League of Legends. Well, the paper is named Team Efficient and Network Structure, the case of professional League of Legends. The authors uh, are from Spain, and I will describe the paper. This video presentation will have four major sections that can be divided into motivation, introduction, data analysis, and conclusion. This will be the schedule for today's presentation. So, with the emergence of differential services on the internet, it was possible to experience a better gameplay. Therefore, competitive games that were previously played in La House became increasingly popular to the point of being a millionaire industry today. Thus, there is a great interest in studying how a winning team is formed. And then, that this is precisely the purpose of this article, to understand the social structure that makes a winning team. But first, it is important to point that this study was developed based on competitive League of Legends games. However, although this study seems applicable only in this context, the game League of Legends shares several aspects in common with other competitive online games such as FIFA, CS, and others. Therefore, the results of these studies may or may not applicable in other contexts. It will depend. Then, in the next slide, I will describe what is League of Legends. Therefore, this paper presents three hypotheses that will be tested later. The first is increased interaction intensity within the teams is associated with a higher team performance and efficiency. Increased centralization of interaction affects teams' performance negatively. Efficient network structures in League of Legends are independent of their region, year, or season. League of Legends is one of the world's most popular video games developed by Riot Games. It features a team-based competitive game mode based on strategy and outplay opponents. Each team is assigned their players to different areas of Summoner's Rift, the most commonly used map in League of Legends, to face off against an opponent and attempt to gain control of their team. As the game progresses, players complete a variety of tasks, including collecting computer controller minions, removing torrents, and eliminating enemy champions. Players use the gold they earn from these objectives to power up their champions and increase their team's control in the game. When a team is able to use those advantages to move the enemy team's base and break the nexus, they secure the victory. So, League of Legends is a game so popular that it is filled football stadiums around the world. This picture was taken during one of these events. The most successful teams in League of Legends history is the Korean SKT and Samsung Galaxy. They have 403 and 32 repeated observations, while TSM, the most successful team in North America, has 380. The dataset also contains information about some of the most relevant repeated events over the game. Kills. Kills similar to the way as goal in soccer. Scoring more kills than the opponent is not necessary to win the game, but is often used as a general indicator of the performance by the players, analysis and coaches alike. As kills result in gold, a kill can be executed by one player alone, or with the help from the teammates. Teams in League of Legends are not only clearly defined and composed by 5 players each, but their interactions are also clearly identified within the extracted data. While one player gets the kill, he or she can be assisted by 0 to 4 teammates. But to assist another player, communication and coordination needs to be in place. Only those players that damage the killed opponent get rewarded with an assistance and a gold amount. It is important to note that to get an assistance, the teammate needs to deal damage. Other helpful interactions such as healing the killer or stunning the enemy are not considered, as neither the League of Legends APR records that not provide any gold to the team. Assists therefore give an idea the interactions that happen within a team during the game and are most likely the most relevant dyadic indicator available in the games. For each team in each match, a data network graph is built. For each kill, all assists are represented as direct edits from the assistant to the killer. An example of this result network is represented here. Taking into account that the edits are weighted, however, the intensity of the interaction between nodes can be assessed using a node in degree and out degree. And although one of the primary uses of graph theory in social network analysis is to identify the most important or popular nodes in a social network, there is a little consensus on how to measure this preeminence, and many authors have attempted to qualify this notion. For instance, a network is decentralized when centralities are balanced across the actors in the networks. Degree centralization is perhaps the simplest definition of centrality when looking at the actors only. In this sense, the nodes with the most ties are the ones that could be considered most active. In small weighted networks such as League of Legends teams, degree is less useful as almost all players are connected to the rest of the teammates. After computing all networks and their related variables, the descriptive statistics are presented in these images. Before fitting a model, dimensionality will be reduced using the variable inflation factor, which measures the ratio of variance in a model with multiple terms divided by the variance of the model with one term alone. It quantifies the severity of multicollinearity in an ordinary least square regression analysis. This result is shown in this figure. Teams are characterized by their interaction, and this study investigates whether these interactions represented by the trace they leave in a network structure that arise among players of the same team. Uh, this trace impacted team performance and efficiency. Two main hypotheses have been formulated. First, that the levels of the interactions or intensity, when controlled by the interaction opportunities, leads to improved team performance. Second, the centralized efforts in a few players results in a worse performance than distributing this effort over the team. In the previous slide, the image shows the linear regression and multi-level regression results. As the regression is linear, coefficients can be directly translated to performance. A variation of 1 unit in the independent variable translates to that increases or decreases the predicted variable. The p-values are included in the parentheses. A total of 5 models are presented ordered by increasing complexity. The first column presents the results using a linear regression model without random effects. Kills per minute is significant in all models, which was expected, as kills provided directed goals for the team. Regarding network structure, a clear effect that relates to intensity is found, implying that increases in the assists ratio are indeed beneficial for the team performance. Increases in the in-degree centralizations are determinant for team, as predicted and exposed in previous literature. Thus, spending our resources in a few team members is less fruitful overall than share them. All degree centralization, on the other hand, shows that the same inclination but is not statistically significant in the mixed models. Therefore, although it's become clear to that increased centralization is a negative factor, a higher centralization of killers seems to be the worse than higher centralization of assistants. Therefore, to conclude, this paper obtained a model explains at least partially how the structure of a team network might influence the team performance. Findings that can be not only useful for strategic decisions making for competition but also for non-game contexts. The network approach has made the identification of certain patterns possible, suggesting that the interaction among players is crucial to understanding the team's effectiveness and eventual success. Okay, so thanks again for listening to this presentation. If you have any question, please send me an email.